United Prairie Bank in 2019 is celebrating its 100th anniversary. The bank charter was chartered in 1919.
This bank has grown well. At 75 years, we had a little celebration. Now I look at it and I say, wow.
Today we're one bank with multiple locations serving our clients in a high quality, high standard way.
A lot of banks have changed, have been dropped. This bank's still here, and it started right here.
When my dad bought the company back in 1973, the culture that he fostered was almost family-like. He treated people very, very much like family.
It's amazing that Jim hasn't really been involved for a long time, but we still get the influence that he's had on a lot of people in the community that he's done a lot of good for. It's fun to hear about those stories.
My wife's father was in the banking in Fulda for years and years. And he said, Jim, I think you'd like banking. After graduating from Mankato State, I went into the bank as a bookkeeper in the back room, sorting and filing checks. In those days, you know, that was pretty big stuff. I ended up going to the Twin Cities, and I got to manage a $1 million bank. Can you imagine? Yeah, I can do it. And then I got wind of this bank being for sale. And I knew the owner, the Schrader people, there were families here. And he said, I'll sell you the bank.
Mountain Lake was the first bank that he bought, which happened to be his hometown. My dad asked if I had any interest in the business, and I'd been laying block and concrete with a local construction company in Mountain Lake, and I thought, gee, being in an air conditioning building might be kind of nice for a summer. I started in the bookkeeping department. He was very, very dedicated to his community and to the agricultural business.
Wonderful customers, I'll tell you, yeah, and especially the farmers. They made us, because we grew with the farmer over the years.
The real growth spurt that started to happen, it was because of the ag crisis in the 80s. At the time, my dad had run his business well enough so that the regulatory agencies looked at him and went, he must be running a decent bank. So he was contacted on more than one occasion and was told that there was an opportunity because a bank was going to fail. Fortunately, he was the successful bidder on the ones that he did end up buying.
Our furthest southwest location is Worthington. Straight north of there is Wilmot. East of Worthington, Jackson, about 30 miles away. North of there, we're at Windham. We're at Mountain Lake, which is east of there. And then New Ulm, west to Madison, north of Spicer, and then down to Owatonna, then Waseca, and then back to Mankato. I came from outside in '99, and the biggest thing for me was I wanted to be able to talk to the person who made the decisions, and that was Jim Sneer. I know I can get to Jim if I've got a real challenge.
You got to give your employees credit. That's what makes the bank. I didn't do it. The people in these offices, they do it.
I met Jim, and then I met Stuart, and the owners have always been approachable.
I remember one of my favorite directors, my son. I was about 63. I made him the manager. He took over and has done a tremendous job for us, and I have a lot of respect.
My dad and his team of executives did a great job with what they had at the time. He had a very good reputation going back to culture of treating people right. He welcomed people with open arms and said, let's work together. So that word began to spread, and then there was a couple more smaller opportunities that happened in the mid to later 2000s. And about that time, he was reaching an age where he wanted to step back. I started to step up a little bit and ultimately ended up consolidating our bank charters.
He said, Dad, we cannot have individual boards for every bank. So then we got the idea, let's combine them all into one. We did, and one of our lenders in Round Lake came up with this United Prairie, and it just sunk. We took that name.
We definitely are known and take pride in being an ag-related bank. We know our customers, we know our clients out in the communities we serve.
I just look around at the people working for us. Customers love them. And when you realize you have good people and take care of them, you will be successful. No question about it.
The biggest part in leadership is checking your ego at the door. Secondly, genuinely caring about your people, and the people know you care about them, and stretching them and making them stronger leaders.
I know what my father's legacy is. If I have a legacy when I walk out the door for the last time, what I would like to leave behind me is a family-owned, very professionally run, community-minded bank.
100 years, and we are looking forward to the next 100.